Ark Invest has a $1,500 Tesla stock price target for 2026. $1,000 of that comes from robotaxis. Ark Invest has a unique take on how robotaxis will work, which was shared by Ark Invest chief futurist Brett Winton in this interview with Meet Kevin. Let's take a look.
Next vehicle that Tesla might announce, it's robotaxi is the direction.
I think so. And I think, if I had to guess, I think that there's a optimization they could do in providing a robotaxi that at least has 2 or maybe 4 separate passenger compartments that are independent of each other. As in,
oh wow.
So part of the problem with robotaxi in our view is that you'll massively increase the number of miles that people drive on roads, because it's going to be much less expensive and much less convenient to ride around in a car.
Sure.
And so it's like, I don't go to downtown LA because it's like an hour and 15-minute slog, and it's, expensive in an Uber, and driving myself, it's like, exhausting.
Going downtown, someone's driving way too fast, someone's driving way too slow, someone can't stay in their own lane. There's always something. If I don't have to go downtown, I'm not going. It's annoying. And now let's talk Uber. When I get an Uber, I feel like a guest. I don't want to be rude, so I don't tell the driver, put this song on, reduce the temperature, increase the temperature. And then again, a few moments later, actually decrease the temperature. I'm getting too hot now. And then I often feel obligated to talk, which sometimes feels awkward, but not as awkward as the silence. And the number one thing that I dislike about getting an Uber, especially if I had to get one daily, no one ever would want to sit in the front seat in an Uber. You always have to sit in the back seat, and then you got this front seat hiding your view. If you want to look out, you're either really looking through the side window, which is not too bad, but let's face it, all the fun is in the front. You want to see the road in front of you. All of this could be just me, so maybe you leave a comment. Generally, if I have to take an Uber, I'll take it, no problem, but I would rather just drive myself instead of taking an Uber. Unless it's in Europe. In Europe, parking in many cases is so difficult if you live in a city, especially near a city center. I would rather just Uber there than drive a car.
But if instead of costing $3 a mile, it costs 30 cents a mile, and I'm just riding in the back seat,
I'll take the front seat, I think.
Not only will I do it, everybody will do it. And so traffic will get worse because the pain of sitting in traffic isn't as high, and it's not as costly to go from place to place.
Sure.
Okay. And so then, Uber had this great idea. They're like, we'll do Uber pool. People will save money
along the route
to ride with other people along the route. And,
but that's weird.
people didn't use that because then you're like sitting next to a stranger, right? And so you definitely won't want to do that in a robotaxi, because in a robotaxi, you're either by yourself, you don't even have the Uber driver, right? You're just by yourself or with a stranger. No way you choose the stranger to save yourself like 5 cents a mile, right?
Facts.
But if you can create a robotaxi that has like separate compartments that open up, and it's like your own little pod, and since it's like, you don't actually care how long it takes anyway, because you're just, watching Netflix anyway, then you could have something that enabled that kind of pooled concept to work.
That's a pretty good idea. But for me, I value my time more than saving a few cents. I understand not everyone is in that position, and there was certainly a time where I counted every single penny. But I would rather get to my destination in, let's say, 25 minutes instead of 35 minutes, and pay $10 instead of $5 or $4. Because, when you stop to pick someone up, there's going to be a detour. The person will not come out immediately always. There will always be delays.
Yeah, FCC patents that, in my opinion, are starting to suggest maybe they're trying to get Starlink into cars. That could potentially align with this idea. Who knows?
Sure. I think that Starlink on all, they already have Starlink for RVs. I think that and this is Sam's work, who covers reusable rockets for us, but we think there's, tens of billions of dollar opportunity in attaching Starlinks to moving our low Earth orbit satellite constellation comms to moving vehicles.
Cars, planes, RVs, boats, whatever.
Yeah, maybe I think there's then you're weighing the cost of the antenna versus like the utility you get out of having it on the vehicle. But it seems like if they're doing something like enabling people like connectivity in their ride, absolutely makes sense.
One thing to consider about a robotaxi also is I get car sick. If I look at my phone when someone else is driving, I cannot do that. If I sit in the backseat and I watch something on my phone, a TV show, anything, I'll get car sick very badly in about 1 or 2 minutes. However, one time when my brother was driving, I sat in the front seat and then I had my phone in front of the windshield. So with my peripheral vision, I was able to see the road. And then I was able to watch a video on my phone, no problem. Something to consider and think about. Do you get car sick? Leave a comment down below.
My idea is that we would probably only really need a 20 kilowatt battery for most people. That now brings down the weight of the vehicle because you're carrying around a battery that's 1/3 the weight, certainly 1/3 the cost, maybe even less. And so it has an 80 to 100 mile range. That's more than enough for your daily commute going to the grocery store, as you mentioned. It's probably
it's like, I think that was, range anxiety is not rational, as in, I think even the early EVs, like the GM Bolt, they were that was their idea, was, hey, we'll deliver a vehicle that doesn't have, so you're not going to go on a road trip with it, but it'll be your electric around town car.
Right.
I think for the US buyer in particular, when somebody buys a car, they in their head say, what is the most exciting thing I'm going to do with the car this year? And it needs to meet that need. So
and they never do it anyway.
And then it might even be over 4 years. It's like, why do people buy pickup trucks? It's not because they're hauling things around every day. It's because one day, it's like they will feel really good when they need to dump a mattress in the back and they're able to do so. And so I think when you're making a big purchase like that, you like purchase for that tail event. And that's just the reality of the consumer buyer.
Is that America?
That might be, that's me indexing to the American buyer because I'm more familiar with that.
Yeah.
I personally would be quite skeptical about a 100-mile vehicle taking off in US or Europe. Maybe in China, that's a little bit different. But over here, sometimes when we forget to charge our Tesla, it's like, oh my God, we only got 80 miles in the car or 50 miles in the car. And it's like, we forgot. And that's really annoying. And then we have to go just a little bit outside of a city and then we can't go. Now we have to wait to charge the car and it's just this whole inconvenience. And then after you have a car and you forget a few times like that, then you never forget. But it's a little bit annoying. And if you have less range, that's just going to happen all the time to many people. And unless you like living on the edge and are really adventurous, even though you might have 100 miles, you will probably live as if you only had 80 or 70 miles. And if it's really cold, well, take it down a little bit further. But on top of these limiting facts, there's this feeling also. You just feel this restriction on your personal freedom. I don't like that. I think most people would hate that. However, if it's your second car, then maybe that's okay. But only if there is some sort of way to connect the charger at home automatically to your vehicle so that you never have a case where you get into the car in the morning and you look at how many miles you have and it's like 7 miles. Yeah, you thought you're going out. Well, not just yet. Maybe give it 15 or 20 minutes. Go chill. While being really angry because maybe you're going to be late now, but just go chill and relax and try to remember the next time. To us, by the way, this problem only happened when we had someone else use the car or try the car and then they go out and then they come back and then they don't plug the car back in. That's when in the morning we wake up and it's like, oh, what happened? So our fault. I think it was maybe once or maybe twice, and then it never happened after that. But yeah, this could possibly work. It's really creepy, but that could be a solution.
The neighborhood electric vehicle segment is really interesting and hasn't been penetrated with a compelling product, and it could be.
Interesting.
As in, they all look like golf carts right now, and they're expensive golf carts.
Right.
But I always thought, I never understood why Apple didn't go after that segment. If they were going to do a car, why not do like a $15,000 Apple car that was an around town car, or $20,000 even, and you have like a set of buyers who would probably be like, oh, that's it. If it looked cool, like you would massively open up your design and engineering space because you're no longer designing it to hurtle along the highway at 70 miles per hour, right? And so it could be like a really interesting product.
Apple has been working on its plan to make a car since 2014. They called the project Project Titan. And while the project was not named Titanic, the plan was Titanic. That's probably where it went really wrong in the first place. And this is the Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.